Welcome all to the second night of the Trans Plays of Remembrance Virtual Short Play Festival 2020. My name is Joe Michael Rezus, pronouns they, them, theirs, and I am the director of the festival you are about to watch and your host for this evening. Back in July, a call for submissions went out for short plays written by trans playwrights to be featured in a live stream format. Purely readings, nothing more, all related to the Trans Day of Remembrance broadly construed. The Transgender Day of Remembrance is a day meant to honor and memorialize those in the trans community facing anti-transgender bigotry and lost to such violence. The origin of the Transgender Day of Remembrance was in 1999 by Gwendolyn Ann Smith as a vigil in tribute to the life of Rita Hester, a Black transgender woman. In remembrance of Rita and the many Black, Indigenous, and other people of color within the trans community lost this year alone, we gather tonight to remember, yes, but fundamentally to resist. Through making art in coalition, writing, collaborating, crying, breathing, and existing as a conglomeration of nearly 30 artists. The Trans Plays of Remembrance Festival has made work that moves beyond the sheer need for transgender representation in theater. We have connected across airways that we now open to you, fellow members of the trans community, allies, and audience members who have stumbled your way into this space. We refuse to mourn our lost trans siblings on any terms less than joyful ones. The motto of these next few days reads as follows: let us remember transgender stories in our past, present, and future. Remembrance does not begin with death. We offer ourselves, our lives, our work as proof that memory refuses linear temporalities. Tonight, you will be witness to two plays under the theme of trust, with a talk back to follow with the artist and special guest, activist and educator, Kit Umric. As a content warning, tonight's plays contain mentions of rape, sexual and interpersonal coercion, suicide, anti-transgender rhetoric, and discussions of alcohol consumption. Please, live tweet, share, post about this festival as it's happening using the hashtag TPOR. That's TPOR for Trans Plays of Remembrance. Connect with the actors, applaud, share what you love, and show your support. Visit our website, transplaysofremembrance.weebly.com, for more information about our team, the casts, the playwrights, and social justice organizations brought in by each member of the team. Also, peer-to-peer payment apps are listed on the website as well, and you should always tip your trans actors and playwrights. As a rule, I mean, you just should. Without further delay, we present the third play of our festival, CEF's Special Type of Grief. Enjoy. Hey, anybody?
Hey.
Okay, hold on just one second. I'm gonna do this. Might be funny. Wait, let's go for it. It's Sunny. What do you want?
Hi, Sunny. Yeah. Okay. Well, okay. So, now I'll just get into it. Okay. The problem with statistics is that they don't act as a challenge. Okay. I mean, look at poverty. Right? I have been told my whole life that I am never going to get out of poverty. And I know as a certified commie that, yeah, under capitalism, that's just the way it is. But fuck, if I lose if I try, and I lose if I don't try, what's the point? And statistics are necessary too. And don't get me wrong, a correct but harsh statistic that can break someone who would never experience it themselves, show them the whole world or whatever. But that doesn't mean that they don't keep you from wanting to push through. Right? Everyone always says that trans people die young, which is statistically not necessarily true. But it's an eye-opener for allies, yeah. But do you know what it does? Do you know what it does to people? Right? You tell a woman that she's probably going to be dead before 50. And how are you supposed to deal with that? One person can't fight a battle themselves. And that is what you're separating people into, right? Nothing will change with language like that. Nothing will change if you make sure that every trans teenager has no hope for the future. I think it's a plot against us. Against the people who could really fix shit.
Oh, it's totally a plot. Nothing will ever convince me any other way.
Is that what you think?
In high school, I helped run a clothing closet for the student body. It was focused on trans and gender nonconforming kids, but poor kids too and stuff. Clothing is really for everybody. So we were still setting it up when we got our first donation, some chest binders. And a couple weeks later, when the place was all but filled with clothing and shoes and socks and stuff, even makeup like soap and shit. And this little kid, a sixth grader, this was like a 6 to 12 school, comes in and comes up to me and makes me lean down real close and asks me if he can have one. And I say, yeah. And this little kid's face just lights up. I don't know what happened to that kid. You know, that's the big thing about being around trans youth. You never know whether they're going to thrive or whether they're going to not thrive. I am so tired of not thriving. I read stories about happy trans people and I cry. I read stories about trans people, the ones that are usually up, the ones that everyone you know plasters all over their Instagram stories, where some trans woman got murdered. And I also cry. It's a whole lot of fucking crying because the good is out of the reach and the bad is everywhere. And I look back just a few years ago and I count on my hands. Is it normal for someone so young to have lost so many friends? To have friends that you're not entirely sure whether or not they're still out there? The first trans friend I lost was in 2015. And I hesitate to call him a friend because we weren't at that point. We were just kids who liked drawing animals. And I knew his life was shitty and I knew his dad was a piece of shit, and yet
all my time is spent wanting to kill my friends' families for them.
Hey, if you're taking commissions.
We all have a story about wanting to kill someone's parents. I think it's part of the experience.
I have a trans feminine friend in rural Oregon. She's one of those people who just really gets it. We've both been homeless before. We're both bad at that gender thing that people keep telling me about. She told me stories about the people that she meets just wandering around her rural community. She tells me she wants to change her name. I tell her, me too. She tells me about how her parents made her sleep on the lawn as a kid all the time, and how she'd walk across town to stay with a friend when it would happen, and how they don't know she's trans. Sometimes she and I go weeks without talking. We both live busy lives.
I never stop being busy. I'm always thinking about it.
Being busy makes everything worse because you don't have time to stop worrying.
Are we supposed to not worry?
My therapist says so, but
You can afford a therapist?
I was going to Pride a few years back, and I was waiting for the train just west of Portland, Oregon, and I've always enjoyed public transportation during Pride Month because there's usually one or two people on the train who will nod at me when I sit down. Being visible is a necessity for me. It's how I'm most comfortable. I can't pass as a man or as a woman. And don't get me wrong, when a little kid stares up at me at the grocery store with like big eyes, I feel good. I change somebody's life every day. I remember I was at this train station waiting. I'm disabled, and all the benches were filled up with people. And so I'm standing there, cane in hand, in the sun, looking miserable, probably. And this older trans woman, wheelchair user, comes over to me. And here's the thing: visibly gender nonconforming or trans and disabled. Fuck, there is a connection there like no other. This lady and I talked and talked and talked, and Portland Pride is on Father's Day. And then that came up and she said to me, I wish my father could see me. He isn't alive and he wouldn't have accepted me, but I wish he could see me. As is the nature of public transportation, I never saw her again. But there's something within me. She's burned into my brain. If I ever forget her, I might as well forget everything.
I wish I could forget a lot of it.
A lot of what?
Most of it.
I don't think I ever could. Anyway, bye.
There's a lot of this
Till
to do.
later. Well, thank you for watching CEF's Special Type of Grief. Next up is a play by Logan Grace called Seahorse Dads, with a talkback to follow immediately.
Oh, hey. You nearly gave me a heart attack. I didn't expect you for a few hours.
Sorry, I've been trying to call you.
You know I don't answer my phone when I have a writing deadline. I'm really on a... Is that coffee and sweets from Hyped? I know you didn't get off work just to spoil me.
Well, I wanted to give you a little heads up, but I canceled our interview with the adoption agency. I have
You what? Why? Was it the paperwork? I checked it 5 times. We didn't miss anything urgent, did we?
no, that was all fine.
It's because Leia and Daphne's adoption got reneged, isn't it? Oh, babe, you are freaking out. Look, I'm gonna Google the statistics of that happening just to show you we have nothing to worry about. Okay, we would be okay. We just have to. Okay, good thing that saves automatically. You'd have lost most of my book. Patrick, what's your deal?
Listen, a few things got me thinking, and
Okay, you do know how hard it was to get that appointment, and it will take forever to reschedule.
Noah, listen to me. I know that. But what if I said I came up with something better? Something less stressful?
I'd say you're crazy.
It would be a way to start our family sooner with less risk and risk for heartache and uncertainties, less worrying for the both of us.
We will always be worriers. I'm Jewish, and well, you're just a worrier.
I'm serious. I did some research.
Seahorse dads, you can be a seahorse parent, the trans birthing experience. This wouldn't have anything to do with Nate and Dylan's Facebook announcements this week. Nate giving birth to the twins.
Well, that, and I heard my coworker, Dana, talking the other day about how her partner is going off hormone replacement therapy to try and get pregnant. Dana is a transgender woman and can't. And well, adoption could take years, and even then, we both know there are never any guarantees.
We knew that going in.
With adoption, there's so much uncertainty and paperwork and legalities, not to mention the fear that the birth parents could change their minds, or our child might want to look for them. I don't know if I'd be okay with that.
And you assume that I'd want to get pregnant.
Well, no. Well, yes. I mean, I hoped we could consider you carrying our child as an option. I mean, imagine a child that looks like us and not having to wait all that time to meet them, our little one, forever.
Yeah, great.
You're mad?
Yes, Patrick. You canceled our appointment without asking me. Then you went and did research about something that would directly affect my everyday life and my body. How am I supposed to feel?
I guess I just got caught up and excited about making a little one of us.
No, absolutely not, Patrick.
Can we at least discuss it?
I have spent years working to overcome so much within myself and in society. I have fought for everything. And you're asking me to put all of that aside for what?
For our baby.
Our baby? Okay, I'd have to go off hormones. My body would no doubt get huge. And I'm not going to mention what all the curbs would do to my head.
It's only 9 months, and after the birth, you can restart T. Nate says he feels great. I'd hit the gym with you. Baby weight would melt right off. Why don't you talk to Nate? And
You are not grasping this. I mean, how would people look at me? What will they think? I still feel like a freak sometimes.
hey, you are not a freak.
And the questions for my family. My parents thinking their little girl has returned. They still mess up my name sometimes.
Baby, that's all small stuff, superficial in the grand scheme of things. I mean, we will be making a family. Our love is bigger than all that noise.
No, I said no, I can't.
You can't, or you won't.
Both. I told you when we got engaged, I never intended to carry a child.
Yeah, I asked you when you were considering a hysterectomy. Were you sure? And was pregnancy going to be something that you might want to consider before going through with it?
Yes. And I said no. I also said I have always wanted to adopt. And you said you felt the same. I thought we were on the same page.
We were. Then.
Look, I know I decided I didn't want to go through another surgery, but
But that's just it. You can still carry our child, so it is up for discussion. And
what, Patrick? It's up for discussion because it's easier, faster, and more promising for you than our original plan. Because you don't like the idea of not like completely being out of control when our child comes.
but Noah, won't you just
No.
I really feel like you are being unreasonable. You have not even looked into it with me.
Well, maybe that's because you did research first and just dropped this bomb on me.
Okay, I know it was probably not the best approach, but why not just sleep on it?
I don't need to sleep on it.
You never know. Maybe you will enjoy being pregnant.
Patrick, I have been pregnant.
What? Who?
Are you?
You never.
I didn't ever want to talk about this.
When?
In college. I terminated it.
Oh, why did you never tell me? You
Because
know?
it was rape.
Oh my God. Oh my God, Noah, I am so sorry.
Don't be. You know, in college, I used to party hard. My fake ID made me super popular at the frat house. My roommate's boyfriend and her twin Ben, who happened to be my best friend, both lived there.
You never mentioned him before.
I was like one of the guys practically lived at that frat house. Beer pong, shooting pool, and games on the big screen.
Your lesbian college days.
Sort of. No matter how long my hair was, what eyeliner I wore, I always knew I was more like them than any of the other lesbians was around. But one wild party, way too many shots, and whatever else was chuggable for both of me and my best friend, and well, no didn't mean no that night.
Wait, Ben?
Yep.
Why didn't you tell somebody? Your roommate? Anyone?
For so many reasons. I couldn't tell anyone. And all I really wanted was to forget it ever happened. Part of me wanted to drink myself into oblivion, but I also was so afraid of it happening again that I wouldn't let myself touch another drop.
So that's where your sobriety comes from.
After the incident, I was in such a daze. I hadn't considered plan B or even getting tested. A month goes by and I'm sick, my period stopped. And that's when it occurred to me. It was my first time, so like, what were the odds?
38%. So how did you find out?
5 home pregnancy tests, all positive.
Where is Ben now? What's his last name?
Please, Patrick, what are you gonna do? Go beat him up and trash his car?
I'm just angry that someone hurt you like that and I can't do anything to fix it. And because that experience took away our chance for you to carry our baby.
Patrick, rape or not, I was never going to want to be pregnant.
I really wish you had told me.
I need you to listen to me because that even solidified everything in my mind.
Noah, a horrible thing happened to you. But that was years ago. It will be different when you are carrying our child. I love you, and this is something we'd be doing together.
Mentally, I couldn't do it then, and I definitely know I can't do it now.
Please, baby, just think. This is something you would be doing for us, for our family. I think when you look at it from...
Patrick, I had to take a bus to the clinic. Do you know what that's like? Awful. Pro-lifers in my face judging me, shouting at me to keep my baby or burn in hell, that God wanted my little miracle. All I could think was nobody asked me if I wanted any of this to begin with. I had to make this decision because of something that was done to me. In that moment, my body and the choice didn't feel like my own. But I made it. And after a year of therapy and a lot of self-discovery, I pushed through. I never spoke about it again.
I feel like... I am so sorry that this happened to you.
Don't. Not right now. Patrick, you made a decision without me, based on an idea that would have a huge impact on me, and you barely considered me at all.
I am so very sorry. I know I should have sat down with you and talked about it first. It's just that I want this so badly for us. I am ready to be a father. And after seeing all of Nate and Dylan's photos and how much them babies look like them, how cozy. They all look together and complete. A real family. I want that.
I love you, Patrick, and I want us to have a family too. But I feel completely unheard and unseen right now. And well, however hard it might be for you, you're gonna have to let go of this idea.
I do see you. But the thing is, well, I just can't help feeling like if we waited, maybe looked, took more time to read, hear other people's experiences, it's not something that has to be decided overnight. You can take as long as you need, months, a year, even. But I think, well, I know this is something I really want you to do for us. And I believe you could feel differently.
Oh, oh, wow. Okay, so because you, Patrick, think that I could eventually feel differently, nothing I have been telling you matters?
No, I get.
No, it's like you haven't really digested a word I've said. I am not just a vessel for a baby. My answer was and is a firm no. And if you are not willing to accept that, well, then I'm not sure we have any.
I respect you, Noah, but it seems to me you are being stubborn and selfish about this. If you would just see the whole picture, I understand it's a huge decision, but what's 9 months of sacrifice for a lifetime of happiness?
Oh, I am seeing the whole picture. And I think you really need to leave right now.
Okay, now, don't you think you're being a little bit
Stubborn? Selfish? I don't want you here right now. And I'm 100% done discussing this. Stay with Nate or Dylan or whomever, but not here tonight.
I don't even have a bag packed.
I don't fucking care. I'll pack it and send someone for it. I need you to leave right now.
I love you. We'll talk tomorrow once you've... I love you.
Thank you all for watching Special Type of Grief and Seahorse Dads. We will be having a talkback to start actually right now. So if everyone's staying for the talkback, could pop up and say hello to me. Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, great to see everyone's faces. Great to see everyone's faces. Hello. Wonderful. Hello, Yusef, hello. As everyone pops in. Before we begin, I would like to all just take one collective breath together. So let's all just check out of the play. We can hold, look at each other in the eye, say hello to the audience as well, and let's just check out of the worlds of these plays for a second, okay? All right, and deep breath in and out. Wave to everyone on the call. Hello, everyone on the call. We're all here in this space. We're supporting each other. We care for each other in this space. And let's begin. Let's begin talking about these plays under the theme of trust. My first question to both playwrights, both Kat and Logan, both of these plays deal with trust as an affect or as a result of different forms of listening or ignoring. I again wrote down the line, I feel completely unheard and unseen, just as we were going through Seahorse Dads. I just want to ask the two of you, how can you two speak to how listening functions as a role in your plays? And that can go to either Logan or CEF, whoever would like to answer.
Joe, could we do some quick introductions for the audience before we
my
move
goodness. I'm completely out of it today. Yes, let's do some introductions. Thank you, Mason, for holding me to that. My name is Joe Michael Rezes. I'm the festival director, pronouns they, them, theirs.
Hi, I'm Luke Woodward. I'm the festival curator and dramaturg, and I use they, them pronouns.
Kit, you're next.
Hi, my name is Kit Emmerich. I am a transformative justice practitioner, and my pronouns are they and or she.
Logan, you're up.
Hi, my name is Logan Grace. My pronouns are they, them, theirs, and I am a writer and actor, and I wrote Seahorse Dads.
Hello, I'm Kat or CEF, and I am the playwright of Special Type of Grief.
I'm Annie. I'm the stage manager, and I use she, her pronouns.
I'm Mason. I'm the festival sound designer, and I use they, them pronouns.
Hi, my name is Yusef. I use he, him pronouns, and I was just in Seahorse Dads.
Hi, my name is Troy Rocket. I use he, they pronouns, and I just was in Seahorse Dads.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jordan Palmer. My pronouns are she and they series. And I was character 1 in Special Type of Grief.
Hi, my name is Ray Coughlin. I use he pronouns or they pronouns, and I was character 2 in Special Type of Grief.
I'm Andy Figueroa. I use they, them pronouns, and I was character 3. There it is, in Special Type of Grief.
Wonderful, everyone. I'm so sorry about just skipping over introductions. I'm like, I know you all so well. We're breathing in, we're taking time together, and I'm excited to talk. So why don't we talk about listening? Because it's my first question because it came up a lot in rehearsal. But I just want to ask you two, Logan and Kat, if you have any thoughts on listening as a function.
I do. So I feel like there is like this push and pull dynamic in general in the piece, but it's like Patrick will listen to, Noah's story. Like, so he's so engaged there, but the really crucial thing, the crucial question, dispute, what they're arguing about, he can't hear it. He's not really tuned in.
Yeah, definitely. There's definitely a wall that's being built up. I don't know. I think we talked about this in rehearsal too. So actually going to Troy and Yusef, in rehearsal, we talked a lot about like broken and or like breaking trust within the relationship. And I wanted to talk to you two about like embodying that complicated dynamic between these two characters over Zoom in particular. If you want to speak to that, I would love to hear, and also talk to Logan about it too.
I can start. There's a new added layer of like trust when it comes to Zoom plays. Like you just kind of have to hope that the people who are watching are in the boat with you. You know what I mean? They could be doing dishes or cooking or whatever, but you hope that whoever's on the other side of the screen is along for the ride. And with characters and the story like Seahorse Dads, it's so uncomfortable, because it's kind of condensed to this semi 2D world, and so it's an added layer of experience to still be 3D. You know what I mean? These arguments are like visceral experiences by these individuals, and sometimes that causes more movement than Zoom can handle on on any given moment sometimes. So it's a balance of allowing ourselves artistically to push those limits, and kind of let it be a part of the experience, and also finding a way to shape it so that it is communicated clearly.
For sure. Troy, do you have any thoughts about the complicated dynamic of trust and trust breaking in this play?
I don't know. I mean, Yusef is such a great actor that I forgot that we were on the computer half the time. The same things apply, like listening, reacting, and everything was kind of written in the words, like what to do. So I was just like, all right. But it was an interesting challenge because like me as a person in arguing, I would like probably get up and leave. And it was like, okay, all right, cool. Let's use this space. And for me, it felt dynamic just right here.
Yeah, and I think a testament to the work of Jess Malone, who is our intimacy consultant on the project. Jess, if you're watching, we love you. And to all of you out there, Jess is an amazing intimacy coordinator and consultant, and worked with us in developing trust within our own homes and with each other across screens, and thinking about vulnerability and how to create dynamic contact and trust across airways, which is amazing. So CEF, thinking about this idea of listening and thinking about trust through your play, I'm wondering how you felt in particular about how we stage this piece over Zoom as a group hangout. Does that fit the world of the play that you were imagining?
Really like that. I wrote really what was 4 monologues with the occasional bit in between, and I think a good old group venting situation fits well with the piece, and I think that was well demonstrated by the actors and by your direction.
Well, thank you so much. It was wonderful. Actually, I have a question too for the actors in Special Type of Grief, the cast. If anyone wants to speak to the rehearsal process, working with not only just so many trans artists, but just speaking to how many trans artists were in the space and what kind of environment the play itself created as the world of the play, but also the environment that we had. If anyone wants to speak to what rehearsals were like, that would be lovely.
Yes. So basically so much of our rehearsals was like a group venting session. And it was just like that kind of way that you establish that kind of like, okay, now this is an easier place where I could truly shoot the shit. And like, if that means, I know I personally am like very much an open book type of person. And so like, I could talk about like a horrible depression episode that was going on, because I'm like, I know that these people understand my situation, and I know that they can empathize and not just sympathize with what's going on. These are people who can meet me at my level. And so even just as casually as we did get to that place where this is easy, this is smooth, this is flowing. Yeah.
I completely second that, Andy. It's as if there were so many times where we weren't reading a play, we weren't preparing for a play, we were just getting to know one another and then layering in text if, at some point. Or so having a sort of baseline of trust that we created thanks to Joe. Well, and but the whole structure of it, right? Just the structure of interpersonal trust that we started to build as actors together and as people and as fellow trans folk, I think created a sort of seamless movement for me, it created a seamless movement into this world of the characters saying what they have on their hearts.
Ray, any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna first of all agree, both of you guys, but also like it's interesting to come into a group of where I didn't know any of you to start with, and it was nice that in such a short time we all became pretty close enough to do a play as like close and intimate as this. And a lot of it is due to, I think, one, being able to empathize with each other easily, but also just how like comfortable the space was, especially because like when you're doing things on Zoom, especially like a play like this, it feels like you're disconnected, and that was never an issue, I don't think. So that was like really nice.
We didn't have that like in-person luxury of like sitting around a table and really kind of like feeling the room out. And usually those processes will start like, oh yeah, cute little icebreaker or whatever. I remember the first rehearsal, we went right into the text and I went, shit, oh God. So even without that kind of like, knowing beforehand, we literally jumped right in. I was so scared because I was like, I don't know anyone here except for Annie and Mason. Yeah, so even from that get-go, still getting there, I just wanted to add that in. It was so funny. I was so freaked out the first day of rehearsals.
Can I add one more thing, because I'm jumping off of the day of rehearsals? This feels like what it was. But anyway, there was something so helpful that you said at the very beginning of the process, Joe, that was you oriented us to our own space, as opposed to trying to orient to some kind of middle, ethereal, not really touchable space where we were trying to touch each other. Like you said, no, you're here in your space. And that really helped me to ground myself here so that I could actually relate to my fellow actors in their spaces. orienting myself to this physical space.
Yeah, the safety that you can create for yourself in your own home, in whatever environment you're performing in, I think is so important. And I think that comes from so many discussions with Jess and the work of intimacy coordinators working in the Zoom virtual theater platform right now, doing that work and that labor to try to figure out ways to keep things safe for actors and performers and designers as we move forward in this realm in the coming months. Something that I'm thinking about, and I want to ask Logan in particular, something happened. Logan, you stopped by one of our rehearsals, and you were talking about this play in this format and with these two actors, these lovely actors in particular. And I'm just wondering, I want to like take it back just a little bit to beyond trust and broken trust and earning trust within the play, but your drive for writing this play. I want to know why. I never asked you that question in the process, and I want to know what drove you to write this piece.
I feel like first of all, being a parent, I feel like it's such a heteronormative thing. And then it kind of branched out into the LG community. But, trans people want to be parents too. And I know a couple of trans guys and trans non-binary people who were trying to get pregnant. And so I was thinking about it, and I was like, because there's a lot of us that don't. It's like a no. And I thought about dysphoria and like what it would be for a couple, because Patrick is cis, and so he never had to deal with the dysphoria, the I guess just the misunderstandings you get from many people. I feel, I don't know for sure, but I kind of feel, well, actually I do, because my experience was different, but I feel like it's way harder to come out as trans to family than it is being gay or lesbian or bisexual. So there was just a lot, and I wanted to cover a lot of things within this play that were on the forefront of my mind and also going on in the world. But I didn't want it to seem preachy, and I didn't want it to seem artificial, because we're talking about abortion, we're talking about rape, and then we're talking about trans pregnancy and the issues that could come between a couple. So that was a lot of it. And then just the fact that if you take the whole story, it could apply to anybody, it could apply to any couple. And I really wanted people that are outside the queer community to see us, to see that we have problems too, that are the same problems as them. We have other problems, we have the same. So that was a huge thing.
Yeah. I think that was a major discussion in rehearsal too, was this is such a human story. And that's working through just a couple in a relationship and working through the intricacies and the intimacies of just two people hashing it out. And Yusuf, I know we talked about how can you have this drive that could be so hurtful to someone that you trust or you presume that there's trust, and that was always just wonderful conversations between the two of you. Never had to play up any humanness between the two of you because you two work so naturally and intimately together over Zoom. But I wonder if you two could speak to developing that relationship together.
Right.
I don't know. I'll speak for myself. It was almost instant. I was like, what? This is
right.
Cool. I think doing the beats, looking at the beats together, okay, how intense do we want this one to go? Or when does it really get intense? Or there's so many beautiful moments where it's oh, okay. I remember why we were in a relationship. So it was just it was really cool. It was really cool to do.
There's two things that really, did you have something else, Troy?
No. I was just thinking back to rehearsal.
Yeah, right. There were two things that really stood out to me to help tell this story and not just have Patrick be, heartless. First of all, the story's built beautifully. You know what I mean? So like it's really all in the text, you know what I mean? Which me as an actor, I'm like, oh, thank God, I just follow the map, you know what I'm saying? And so first of all, that's the first thing where it's like we're over 80% there. And then the second thing was just the intermittent connective tissue conversations that we had between myself, Joe, Logan, and Troy about like how did we get here, you know, which is really the fun part about acting, I feel anyway, is discovering that connective tissue, which sometimes get lost in like building houses and lights and all other kind of things, but like what's the true connection, like why are we here? And what Logan was saying earlier about this play being so applicable, these things that we're arguing about is culturally we all learn them, you know what I mean? We all learn them and accept them to one degree or another, but pretty soon on they start teaching this thing about who's supposed to do what, and we're just forced to kind of like fend for our own about who how do we interact with other people who have a different set of learning tools and points. And so it was just a beautiful play, and the connective conversations really made it an easy transition.
Yeah. There was one thing that hit different for me. Yusuf, you remember that line where you go, a kid that could look like us? And you had connected that to this moment of like when there's so much anti-Blackness. I mean, yes, I think about that, but I didn't know I was going to be able to have that held within a play. And so, and not just on a biological tip, but like to bring a Black child into the world.
Period.
Like, it was like, oh, wow. So many things.
Yeah.
We can break the play down, but so yeah.
Right.
No, that's amazing. I appreciate all of the actors and for bringing so much to the table in terms of just talking about these plays. We spend so much time talking, which is a lot of what Zoom theater is. It's a lot of talking because there's a little bit less doing that can happen in terms of relation to each other in the space, right? We can't move with each other the way that we normally would. So much talking happens, but I just appreciate it because something about pairing these two plays together, we see a really interesting relationship in terms of listening and trust, because trust in these plays looks very different in terms of the comfort levels between the characters. In Special Type of Grief, we have such comfort between these characters and able to communicate. And in Seahorse Dads, we have trust that is also very comfortable, but is picked at over the course of the play. But trust needs to be there both ways for the artists involved, right? No matter what happens, if it's broken trust or abject, full out trust, like in Special Type of Grief, throughout, trust between the actors has to remain the same. And I think that is something that I learned through this process as well, that building that trust up in the rehearsal room is integral to all of that work. Lovely. I want to open it up now to you all. If you have any questions or comments or praise for each other, go ham. This is your time to do so. If anyone wants to say anything or ask a question, feel free. That would be wonderful. If not, that's also okay, but go for it.
To everyone who was working on Seahorse Dads, that was amazing. Normally it's really hard for me to like connect with a lot of elements of Zoom theater when I'm not the one trying to connect across a screen. That was amazing. So just to everyone involved, that's it. Yep, it's there.
Someone's unmuted. I don't know who, is it me? Am I the one unmuted? Possibly. Lovely, everyone. If no one has any other questions or comments, Logan, please.
Yes, this one. First of all, they beautiful work. It's so interesting. It's just like everybody has mentioned, it's really interesting to see it on Zoom because it was not written for, it wasn't written for Zoom. And I actually was in the first production on a stage, and knowing that it would probably be, hopefully, my hope was that it would get to be done over and over again, but I never in a million years thought it'd be on Zoom. And it's like people said, there's a lot of movement that needs to happen that didn't because we're on Zoom. There's certain elements you just can't, you just can't make happen. That being said, like, it still felt, it still felt like my play. It still felt like my vision. And I'm so grateful for that on so many levels. So thank you.
Thank you, Logan. Thank you, Logan and Kat, for your writing and your work. It was amazing to embody it for a second and even be an actor, CEF in your play, and work with you all. But we are not done with our discussion because we have the lovely Kit with us today, and I'm going to do an introduction. I'm so excited for this. I am so pumped to introduce Kit Emrique, whose pronouns are they and or she. And Kit is a 26-year-old pansexual, non-binary trans woman from Boston. Kit is an activist working to serve the community at large and create gentle and tender realms of radical possibility modeling for all. Some of their core values are integrity, veracity, and receptiveness. In order to practice activism, advocacy, and real-time praxis to support comrades, it is imperative to Kit to hold these tenets close to her as they do the work. Kit is also a transformative justice practitioner versed in facilitating harm circles and community accountability processes for organizations and collectives. Furthermore, Kit teaches transformative justice classes and holds space for all to learn and engage with this concept and then share and spark conversations within communities to transform themselves. And we are so, so happy to have Kit here to do this workshop with us. And for you all watching and for all of us in the room, we are so excited to have you, Kit. Take it away. Have us do what you need us to do.
Thank you for that wonderful introduction, Joe. Before we begin our discussion, we're going to start off with a grounding exercise to center ourselves here and now in this moment. Okay, so feel free to place your feet flat on the ground, and we're going to take some guided breaths together. And when you breathe in, imagine softness and tenderness. And when you exhale, release that tension. Whatever is in your mind, let it go. And as you're breathing, do a body scan. Wherever you feel that tension and stress, take a moment to connect with it and release it. If you have to roll your neck or roll your back or your shoulders, shake out your feet, do whatever is comfortable for you. So we're going to close our eyes and we're going to take a deep breath in together. And we're going to exhale. We're going to breathe in again. And exhale. We're going to breathe in again. And exhale. We're going to put our hand on our head. And we're going to breathe in. And out. We're going to put our hand on our heart, wherever that may be. And we're going to breathe in. And out. We're going to put our hand on our stomach. And we're going to breathe in. And out. And our head, heart, and stomach is where emotions and feelings naturally arise in our body. So connecting with that, being gentle and tender with ourselves. We're going to take 3 more collective breaths together. Breathing in. And out. Breathing in again. And out. And on the last exhale, you're going to let out a nice big sigh and let everything go. We're going to breathe in one more time. And exhale. Feel free to open your eyes and come back to the space when you're ready. So hello and welcome. I'm so excited to be able to talk with all these wonderful artists and to engage with you all, the audience. So today's workshop and discussion will be centered around trust, accountability, and community building. I'd like to start off by describing and defining what transformative justice is and how this political framework will guide our conversation this evening. So transformative justice is a relational and political framework used to address harm, build relationships, develop accountability, tools, and resources to transform the conditions so the harm doesn't happen again and the community and everyone involved is able to heal collectively as a result. Transformative justice does not involve the state, nor the reinforcement of oppressive norms or vigilantism. Values include the active cultivation of trust, healing, accountability, resilience, and the safety of everyone involved, reflecting the world we want to see. In addition, we want to think about how do we want to be supported and support others, given the escalation of white supremacist and fascist violence happening across the country. Finally, I want to take a moment to recognize and uplift the long lineage of care and accountability practices that Black, Indigenous, immigrant, queer, trans, disabled, sex worker communities have cultivated as a way to survive the violence of state institutions. The sacrifices, creativity, brilliance, and strength of these communities have shaped the framework in which we call transformative justice. Next up, I want to take a moment to transition and to think about and dream of accountability. Mia Mingus shares her perspective on this concept and how this quote will begin to set the stage. What if accountability wasn't scary? It will never be easy or comfortable, but what if it wasn't scary? What if our own accountability wasn't something we ran from, but something we ran towards and desired, appreciated, held as sacred? What if we cherished opportunities to take accountability as precious opportunities to practice liberation, to practice love, to practice the kinds of people, elders to be, and souls we want to be, to practice which that we can only practice in real time? After all, we can only practice courage when we are afraid. So throughout my lived experiences, especially as a transformative justice practitioner, I've come to realize that accountability, it's a lifetime commitment to strive to do better, to be emotionally aware, to be more cognizant and tactful with the way you navigate in the world. You have to cultivate this as a practice for you first. So therefore, we can fully honor each other's humanity because we see ourselves fully and holistically. Accountability is the desire to be challenged and transformed, wherein the ecosystem which apologizing lives and is a practice. On the matter of cultivating trust, I think it's important to be, authentically and radically yourself. I feel like that, in the digital age, we're all trying to just navigate interacting with each other. I think it's important to just be honest about your limits and capacities. Practice boundary setting with each other, with your friends, with your community. And these small steps can help solidify a foundation, allow for capacity building, and it fosters organic connection within our families. And this intentionality creates the space for trust to manifest. Active check-ins, communication, and follow-throughs build a strong bond with your community. And moreover, it's crucial for culturally relevant care in the midst of a global pandemic and uprisings. Community care, especially within our families and communities, that's an active investment in process. That work doesn't stop. We also need to rest and take care of ourselves as well, and each other, nourishing our minds, bodies, spirits, and hearts. This radical concept of rest in a capitalistic society that values burnout over healing and restoration is inherently transformative. Even making one small step to yourself, when you wake up in the morning or when you're going to bed, or if you're just feeling overwhelmed, just say, you know what? I am the priority. I can take care of myself. What are some ways that I can do that? So I would like to close out our brief discussion with a quote, and we're gonna have a song to listen to. I love it. So the quote is from Little Watson, and it says, "If you have come here to help me, you are wasting your time. But if you have come because your liberation is bound in mine, then let us work together." Okay. So the artist of this song that's going to play is Konak, and the song itself is called Flutter. So cue the song.
make our way. One day see the sunshine finally. Look into the future, to a better place, and we will see the sunshine finally. Already know when the light surrounds me, I'll be searching for more. Lighter than the snow, this moment I can't believe, so bright and warm. You know that I used to view us different. Now I see that you know that the light in your eyes faded. Now I see that you know that I used to view us different. Now I see that you know that the light in your eyes faded. Look into the future, we will make our way. One day see the sunshine finally. Look into the future, to a better
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Kit. I love this workshop, and just that song was making me think about just the future and futurity and world making that's coming tomorrow, and just thinking about building brighter futures of accountability and trust within our own community. And so lovely, so lovely.
Thank you for having me. And as the song succinctly puts, look into the future, we will make our way. We're already doing it right now in this moment together. Thank you again.
Thank you, Kit. If you are looking for a consultation meeting with Kit in regards to a dilemma you'd like to address in your workplace, in your community, or in your organization, and you want to apply transformative justice frameworks to the resolution process, please reach out. Kit will discuss your situation and review next steps if you'd like to proceed with their services. And you can find all of Kit's information on our website, transplaysofremembrance.weebly.com. And if you're looking for a seminar or workshop on transformative justice for your organization, Kit has 6 months of experience teaching remotely, digitally, virtually, and would love to facilitate that for you. And so please check out Kit's information on our website, especially a New England Mutual Aid resource sharing Facebook link is next to Kit's bio and headshot on the website as well. Thank you all for being here for this talk back tonight, and for our second night of the Transplays of Remembrance Festival. Please go to our website to learn more about each playwright, actor, and activist we have working on this festival. There as well, you will also find links to learn more about community organizations and mutual aid funds brought into the festival by each artist. There are nearly 30 amazing artists and team members who came together to create this festival. And I keep saying that number because it's baffling to me and I'm so excited by it. We would once again like to thank the Ohio University Division of Diversity and Inclusion, the Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, and Transgender and Women's Centers, the Tufts University Department of Theater, Dance, and Performance Studies, and the Tufts University LGBT Center for their continued financial support to make this festival accessible and successful over time. Please join us again tomorrow for the final night of this festival under the theme of world making, featuring 2 more beautiful plays and a special performance by Bill Wright. We cannot wait to see you all there. So I thank you all. Thank you so much to the actors and designers and team members coming in today. And we will see you all tomorrow. Have lovely evenings, everyone. Thank you. Goodbye.